Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's February 13th, 2023, and today what I thought I'd do is talk to you a little bit about sweet potatoes. Now, for years we've been growing sweet potatoes, and what we typically do is take some of our sweet potatoes in the end of January, beginning of February, right up until about now, and we take some of the sweet potatoes. Either we can purchase them from the organic section of the grocery store, or we often, like we do this year, have plenty of sweet potatoes in our root cellar. Then we take them up, we clean them off, make sure they're nice and clean, there's no disease, no injury to them at all, no soft spots. Clean them off really well. And then years ago we started off taking the sweet potatoes, putting them in jar with toothpicks like you've seen before. And by the way, I'll try to remember to link up in the upper right hand corner the playlist for growing our sweet potatoes, so you can see how over the years we've modified our systems. And so for years we started off taking sweet potatoes, putting them into like a quart jar or an old peanut butter jar, held partially, just part of it submerged in water, and with toothpicks holding it out and waiting for the slips to come up. Then we could tear off the slips, put them in water, and start the roots on them. So that when the days get nice and warm, we can take all those little slips that are well rooted and we can plant them in our gardens. Now, in most places in the world you don't have to do this, but we live in Oswego, New York. Now this winter is kind of bizarre here because, you know, our average winters get 11, 12 foot of snow typically, and right now the ground is clear. This morning it still had snow on it, but it's getting above freezing quite regularly now, and we're having more rain. But you really don't want to start putting your sweet potatoes in the ground until it's consistently, above 45 degrees Fahrenheit. So what we do to get an early start on our sweet potatoes is start them as slips by allowing the growth from the sweet potato root itself to emerge, and then we'll let it get some roots on it, and then develop leaves as well, and then we transplant them into the gardens when the temperature is nice and warm. So over the years in the playlist you'll see I've gone ahead and adapted, and I've rooted the sweet potato slips in perlite and in water, and that worked extremely well. We've gone ahead and we advanced to taking the sweet potatoes and put them into a soilless mixture in trays, and put them under the growth lights that we'll show you in just a minute, just some fluorescent lights. And that worked really well. And this season I decided, well, when we're harvesting the sweet potatoes, and I'll try to remember to put a link up in the upper right hand corner, when we harvested our sweet potatoes this year, I was careful to take some of the root mass and some of the crown, and that's the point where the vines exit the soil and the roots are still in the soil itself, and leave about 8 inches of root mass on it and about 6 or 8 inches of vine on it without any leaves. We brought them over into the coop area and we potted them up into pots. Just used regular garden soil. We didn't use a soilless mixture. This is kind of risky because there could be organisms in the soil that's in your garden that could create problems. So we could have pests and some bacterial infections, that sort of thing. But we did that. We started them in the coop over the late fall and winter months. Now we harvested those right after the first couple of light frosts before a big heavy frost. So we took those plants, put them in some soil, not potting soil, just garden soil, put them over in the coop. Then the temperatures got pretty darn low. And we did this with our pepper plants too, but that'll be a separate video. And and we got really, it was probably 24, 25 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit wind chill factor when we brought them over into the house over here. And then we stuck them initially right up under a fluorescent lamp in a hanging pot. That didn't work out so well. The vines weren't getting so much as much light as we'd like them to, so we stuck them under the same grow lights that we've done in the past. So we'll walk over there now and you can see. So these are the sweet potatoes here. they've been growing. Now there are other pots. These are some other special pussy willows in here, but this is one of the pots here with the sweet potatoes in it, and we keep pulling the vines down from growing up into the light fixture themselves, and they do grow up in there. But Thea waters them every couple of days, and I think we've got 3 or 4 pots in here with the sweet potato vines, and they continuously keep growing and doing very well. And so what we'll end up doing as the weather gets warmer, we'll probably bring these out into the coop or into the work area again where the temperatures are nice, and then I'll lay these pots next to soilless mixture in some of our flat trays. And then we'll take the vines and lay them down into the soilless mixture, and I'll make a video about this. It's similar to the way we did it last year, just that we started everything from the potatoes themselves last year. We started from 1 potato, I believe. So what we'll do when things are really warmed up, we'll take these pots, bring them over into a nice warm area next to the south windows in the coop area. We'll lay the vines down in soil. We'll leave the leaves above the soil, and where each one of the leaf nodes comes out, that'll force roots to develop in each one of those, and that'll create a whole bunch of sweet potato plants that we can transplant out into the gardens this season when it comes time. So I hope all that made sense. I just wanted to give you an update on the sweet potatoes. This is different this year. Now, it still isn't 100% successful. We do have some ladybugs in here. When we gather our wood from the woodshed, as I've shown in the past, the logs, the ladybugs are all congregated in between the tightly close to each other, the firewood that we have. The ladybugs are all in there, so I brought some of the firewood in here and let the ladybugs get off when it warmed up in here, and they help to take care of, our integrated pest management, take care of many of Thea's plants in here. And I think they're also responsible for helping out a lot with the sweet potatoes, as well as many of the other plants out in our living room here. So I thought I'd give you an update on what's going on with the sweet potatoes. It's a little bit different this year. We'll see how successful it is. Last year we started off with either 1 or 2 sweet potatoes, and we got that whole crop of sweet potatoes, which we're not even 1/3 of the way through yet this season. So, and we love sweet potatoes. So that's it for the update on what's going on with the sweet potatoes. Please refer to the playlist if you have questions, because I've tried to detail information about the different diseases, the bacterial diseases that you can get in the sweet potatoes, the differences between the soil and soilless mixtures, the advantages of using perlite to help get the new growth to develop roots in the perlite and water mixture, all of those things. So if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. If you found this video of value, please give us a thumbs up. And by all means, folks, stay safe and take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye now.